Today is Beetlejuice Day. It's Friday, September 6th, not the day that you're watching this, but the day that I'm filming it. And today is when Beetlejuice, the sequel to the original Beetlejuice movie, comes out in theaters. And if you are familiar with my channel, you probably know that I am not a big fan of remakes and reboots, sequels to movies that are 30 and 40 years old, but I am somewhat hopeful for this one. I've seen the trailer and it looks all right. If I had to make a prediction about this movie, I would say that it's gonna be okay. It's probably gonna have some laughs, it's gonna be entertaining, but I don't think it's gonna be amazing. I don't think it's gonna be anywhere near as good as the original movie. And so that's my prediction, but tonight we're gonna go see the movie and I'm gonna let you all know what I really think of it. But before we head out to see the movie, we're gonna go check out some screen-used props from Beetlejuice 1 and Beetlejuice 2. So, let's go see what we can find. Okay, right now we are in Burbank, California at Warner Brothers Studios. You can see here is the back lot right behind me, but this building right over here, this is the Warner Brothers Studio Store, Studio Tour. You would go into that, well, there is a studio store in there also. You go into that building and that's where you buy your tickets for the studio tour and you check in, but also in the lobby right now, they've got a bunch of stuff on display for Beetlejuice. Now, I don't know exactly what it is. I've heard that it's some screen-used props. I think it's from both movies. I'm not sure, but let's check it out. Now, the cool thing is it's free to go inside of that lobby. So you should take the studio tour, especially if you haven't, but if you just want to come down and check out the props and maybe cruise through the store, you can do that. So let's do it now. So all of this is just in the lobby, and it's free to come in and check it out. Right there is where you would enter for the studio tour. And then right over there is the studio store. So if you wanted to come in and shop at the studio store, you could also check out this stuff. Now, so far, it looks, I'm just seeing stuff from the second movie. I also don't know if anything, I was told some of this was screen used. I don't know if any of it is, or if it's just props, replicas. Still pretty cool though. So this one is from the first movie, and I just asked and I was told that everything out here is screen used. I mean, obviously not the house, but all of the props and costumes, all screen used. Pretty awesome. I gotta say, this is pretty cool. I think this is my favorite thing that I've seen in here so far, especially being that it's supposedly from the first movie. They got a nice little replica of the Dietz house with some black fabric draped over it. Not really sure what that's about. I'm gonna guess something from the second movie. We'll find out tonight, but definitely cool to see the house. And they've got some pumpkins on the porch. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Lydia. And there he is, Beetlejuice. Some screen-worn outfits from Beetlejuice. Now again, I can't really describe what each of these is because we haven't seen the movie yet. But tonight, it'll all make sense to me. But give you an idea there. So I think that would be these two. And then these two here. Now one of them is Lydia's, I'm going to guess. That's that one. Okay, this might be a tie for the coolest thing in here. I thought the sculpture, but this is pretty awesome too. Now this is not from the original, it's from the sequel. So I guess that's kind of a spoiler, because now we know that there's another wedding. This is really awesome though. I mean, that's the real tuxedo worn by Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice. And Lydia's real wedding gown worn by Winona Ryder. Oh. And here we have an outfit worn by Lydia's daughter, Astrid. And another thing, well, okay, now I don't know. I don't know if it's the sculpture, the wedding outfits, or this. This is awesome. And it's from the first movie. This is part of the original model right here. Wow. This is cool. Now, obviously, this is not the entire model. It was much bigger in the movie. Man, this is so cool. If you are in the area, I highly recommend stopping by. I mean, you should be coming and taking the Warner Brothers studio tour if you have not, because it's really fun. But if you can't afford to take the tour, or maybe you've already taken it, you should still stop by, check out the shop, and check out these props, because this is really cool. All right, right next to it, another one of Lydia's outfits. And now we've gotten to the Beetlejuice merch. These are not screen use props, but stuff that you can purchase and take home with you. Pretty cool. Now how much is something like Dante's Inferno? See if we can find a price. Oh my. A little pricey, but definitely cool. All right, I'm seeing a few more screen used props. Not this, but right next to it, they've got the shrimp hand. Pretty awesome. And some more screen used costumes from the original movie. You've got Adam and Barbara's costumes. And there it is, probably the ultimate screen used costume. The man himself, Beetlejuice. Now this one is from the sequel, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, worn by Michael Keaton. Kind of strange that this one is just out here for you to touch, but then Barbara and Adam's are behind glass. Maybe because those ones are from the archive. I don't know. I gotta say, I'm kind of surprised how many cool props they had here. I knew they had some cool stuff, but this is a little bit cooler than I thought it would be. Okay, I think that might be it for the screen used props, but they also have a lot of merch out here for you to buy. Now, I'm not going to show you every single piece of merch because there's a lot, so you're just going to have to come down here and check it out, but I'll give you a little taste. They've got a tote bag with the handbook for the recently deceased. They've got, I think those are magnets, Beetlejuice hats, replicas of the book, some Beetlejuice tumblers, more over here, beanie. I mean, all kinds of stuff, little statues, figurines, t-shirts. Maybe you want a sweatsuit that'll make you look like Beetlejuice, but you never knew where to get one? Well, now you do. Lots of different t-shirts and merch. If you are a Beetlejuice fan, I highly recommend coming down here and checking this stuff out. Now, I think this is something that they had in movie theaters, but they have one here as well. You can take a seat right there and take a picture in between Beetlejuice and Bob. And this is right next to the Warner Brothers Studio store. So if you come down here to check out the Beetlejuice stuff, you can also head inside here. They've got lots of different merchandise from The Goonies, Lost Boys, all your favorite Warner Brothers TV shows and movies, or at least most of them. You'll be able to, you know what? All right, I'll show you a couple of things really quick. So as you can see, they've got a ton of cool merchandise in the studio store. If you like any Warner Brothers movies or TV shows, they're gonna have something in there that you like. However, one movie that I did not see represented in there, and I'm kind of curious why, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I don't know, I could be wrong, but I've looked in that store a few times. I did not see anything any other time or right now from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And that's kind of weird. I mean, a lot of that movie takes place on this lot. What's up with that, Warner Brothers? All right, we are on our way now to see the movie. We are headed to the drive-in because it's just more fun going to the drive-in. We're going to the Paramount drive-in in the city of Paramount. I think there's like 3 drive-ins now in Los Angeles. Paramount is the closest though. When my wife and I, when we first got married, we lived in Monterey Park, and we used to always go to the Vineland drive-in. And I think out of the 3, that one is my favorite. There's also the Tiki drive-in, which I believe is in Pomona. I've only been there once. But like I said, Paramount is the closest, so that's where we usually go. It wouldn't be that bad of a drive-in, except for 2 things. Their projectors are a little dim, and then depending on which screen you get, one of the screens has industrial buildings behind it, and there's these bright lights that shine right at you. And like the last movie we saw there, I don't remember what it was. It was one of the superhero movies, one of the Marvel movies. And we had those lights behind the screen, and the movie was dark, and the projector was dim, and it was awful. Like I could not tell what was going on. But if you luck out and you get the other screen and the movie's not too dark, then it's not so bad. But anyways, yeah, we are almost there. Movie starts in about 40 minutes. All right, so we are here. There ended up being no line at all. So I guess showing it on both screens definitely did help. We were able to request the other screen that doesn't have the bright lights behind it. But actually, I'm noticing that this screen has some lights behind it too. Not as bad as the other one. We decided to set up chairs outside instead of sitting in the car because it's a really nice night. And so this should be good. I'm kind of surprised that there's not more people here. I mean, there is quite a few people, but there's still lots of spaces. You can see right over there is the second screen also showing Beetlejuice, or Beetlejuice. But this is the screen we're gonna be watching it on. Gonna be starting here in just about 15 minutes. So we just got back from the movie and I am completely shocked at how much I enjoyed it. And you might be shocked by that too. But yeah, I actually really liked the movie. I did not think I would. As I said before, I'm not usually a fan of the reboots and remakes and sequels to really old movies, but this was done really well in my opinion. The story was good. All of the actors did a good job. It was funny. It was actually a lot funnier than I thought it would be. They did reuse some of the same gags from the first movie, but it wasn't too bad because they worked it in well. Also, there was a couple of parts that were a little weird and a little cheesy. I don't want to say too much on that because I don't want to give any spoilers. And then probably the only other thing that bothered me was there was some obvious CGI in this movie. But I did notice that at least on one of the parts, they tried to make the CGI look like claymation, so it would look more like the first movie. So it was kind of cool that they did that, and it made the CGI not as bad, but I still, didn't really like the CGI. But really, those are my only complaints. Other than that, I thought it was a really great movie. All the actors did a great job. Tim Burton did a great job. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I kind of wish that I could review it a little bit more in depth, but I don't want to give any spoilers because I know a lot of you have not seen it yet since it just came out. Now that's my review as far as the movie goes, but just in case some of you are in LA and you're thinking about going to the Paramount Drive-In, I want to talk about that for a second really quick. As I said, I've been to the Paramount Drive-In many times, but I think it's getting worse, and I think after tonight, I'm probably not going to be returning. Just as I said, the projectors are really dim. Also, they raised their prices. It was like, I think 45 bucks for the three of us to get in. And, there were people constantly turning on their headlights. People were lifting up the hatchbacks on their car. Actually, where we were sitting, about 15 minutes into the movie, a car showed up late, parked right in front of us. They pulled in head first with their headlights shining right in our face. And then they were in an SUV. They got out and put up their hatchback, and it was an extremely high one, completely blocked the screen. And so we had to move off to the side. And then eventually we ended up just getting in our car and flipping our car around. It was a whole thing. But yeah, people constantly turning on their headlights, kids running around and screaming. And actually the sound was really bad for some reason. It comes through your car stereo, but it was really staticky. So yeah, definitely not worth the 40, 45 bucks, whatever it was. I kind of wish we would have just saw it in a regular walk-in theater. But yeah, that's just me, just my opinion. Maybe some of you might have a good time at the Paramount Drive-In. And same for Beetlejuice. That was just my opinion. I know some of you are going to watch it and absolutely hate it. Some of you are going to watch it and think it was amazing. But for me, that's what I thought about it. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed checking out those props in the beginning of this video and my little review at the end. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.